Hi guys. Hi guys, it's Ray here from City Fan TV. Hope you're all well. It's Saturday evening. I'm early tonight, 2 minutes to 9. It's not normal for me to be early, but I'm early tonight, guys. Well, what we're here to talk about, we're here to talk about anything to do with Man City, whatever you guys want to bring up. I'm thinking, what am I thinking? I'm thinking we can talk about a little bit about Edison, that he might be open to a new contract. And something I read, I'll read it in hopefully a little bit more when we talk about him. And I'm also going to look at 5 kids that are out on loan from Manchester City. I think they're all in the Championship now. I'm going to briefly have a look at them. Aaron, I'm sorry, man. I was well prepared today. At past 8, I got all my stuff, most of my stuff ready for the stream, and I just thought I might as well come on. Surprised myself, to be honest, to come on this early. But anyway, I'll just repeat what the agenda is today. I'm going to talk about a little bit about Edison, and then 5 youngsters, 5 City players. I hate Twitter when it reboots on me when I'm already in the middle of typing something. I was like to send a tweet out. Anyway, thanks Twitter, you absolute useless thing. So what I was going to say was, sorry, I got distracted there by Twitter it's messing me around. Anyway, deleted my tweet just before I press send. So I'm going to have to write it out again. So yeah, we're going to talk about the 5 kids who are on loan from City. So it's going to include and off the top of my head, this Lucas Nemecha, Patrick Roberts, Jack Harrison, Tosin Adarabioyo, and I remember the last one. It'll come back to me. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Yeah, we'll see. We'll discuss whether excuse me, discuss whether they will ever come back to Manchester. But guys, I've just got to type this out now that Twitter's decided to reload the page. It's a real bummer. So yeah, so I think that's quite interesting. Aaron, how you doing, mate? Mo, I'm not so sure, Mo. Asa. I tell you what, mate, it's a long time. Ikram, how you doing, Ikram? Well, so we can talk about Arteta as well. Mo Bellew, you sound like, forgive me for this, but you sound like a Mahrez fan. And we're going to have a big old chat. I've got a big old chat with Waleed Hope tomorrow. We're going to talk Algerian football. I think that's going to be interesting. We're going to talk about, obviously, their Algerians absolute love of football. We're going to talk about the AFCON, Africa Cup of Nations, and their triumph last season. Obviously, with Riyad Mahrez playing a pivotal role in their success. Then we're going to talk about Riyad Mahrez. We'll talk about Ismail Benasser. We'll talk about Houssam Ouar, and someone else that you probably hasn't figured out on your radar, but I did a video about this fella 2 years ago, and that's Yusuf Attal. And maybe 1 or 2 other names might crop up as well. And I think that'll be interesting. And then also talk about the Premier League and how Algerian fans, what league do they look to? Is it France because they're a former colony of France? Is that the number 1 league that they would look to around the world? So I think that's going to be a cracking discussion with Waleed. I'm not sure when it's going to go out. It'll probably go out, I suspect, might be on Tuesday, because I'm going to shoot the video with him tomorrow. But there's a lot of hopefully a few pictures, photos that I want to insert into the video and do a little bit of editing. So, but yeah, look out for that. I think it'll be really, really interesting. And well, he's a good old boy. I think we'll have a bit of fun chatting about, you know, even throw him a Benalbia. Now, some of you, people like Blackpool Blu-ray, and who else would know about him? Probably Angus, probably Bernard would know about Ali Benabia. So, excuse me, I think that could be quite interesting to look at that as well. So, yeah, so those are the ideas over the next couple of days to what we'll be doing. And obviously tomorrow night, you've got to remember, guys, tomorrow night we have got a preview with Burnley fan tomorrow night. So I think that'll be a little fun as well. So don't forget to join us over the next few, lots and lots of stuff. That's it. Anyway, so let's just I'm just popping this onto Twitter now. I've got bored with it, and I'll get back to you guys now. So let's see what you're saying. Maris fan, I just watched you on YouTube. Put an Arsenal fan. Asa, that was 2 years ago. That was August 2 years ago. That video, the last time I looked at it, had over 50,000 views. It obviously was for another channel, a very small channel, but that one exploded, and those boys were. But the thing is, those Arsenal fans are still deluded. Absolutely, yes. I watched it several times. I'm sure there's bits missing from that video because I really put them to bed. A lot of their arguments, and there were so many things you could slap them around with. I actually forgot some of the points that I could have made, but a lot of Arsenal fans I speak to are extremely deluded. They think Arsenal are 2 or 3 players away from challenging for the title. Sorry. I remember when we went to their place. Did we beat them 3-1 earlier this season? 3-0, 3-1? I know we got 3 goals. We regularly do against Arsenal. And I remember talking to Robbie and a few of the AFTV boys before the game. And they did, and even after, they didn't want to accept where they are right now. They were expecting within 2 years, some of them were expecting to be challenging for the league again. And I explained, well, it ain't going to happen. Look how far ahead of everybody Liverpool is. And look how far City were for those 2 seasons. Arsenal a long way behind. Yeah. And people are arguing that the league is Sonny, if you listen to Sonny the other day, saying the league isn't that strong. It's a weak league. But Liverpool are still going to put up over 100 points this season. City put 198 points in over 2 seasons. Arsenal are not going to get anywhere near that. They've not got that level of consistency, solidity, quality. They haven't got the quality. They haven't got that steel. Another defeat today. So they're a long, long way. And I said, actually, their first target, they didn't like this. I said the first target is to get back in the Champions League. That's got to be your next target. That will give you obviously give you some money again. That will lead you to go forwards. But you've got to give Arteta time. And the way Arsenal are going, Arteta, I can't see them not giving him next season, or at least starting the season. But they don't want a revolving door with their manager. And I think that's just the worst way to go. They're going to have to back him, which I don't think they've got the money to really do that. It's going to be interesting. Could he come back to City? Ikram says Arsenal are a long way from consistency, making the top 4. Absolutely. High expectation, disillusion, says Aaron. Absolutely. It's true. I had someone dissing me today, Princess Guna dissing me again because I said, they obviously love the Invincibles. They love Arsene Wenger, and they really push the fact that he transformed the league. And that's because I was talking on a stream a few days ago, and I said that I must have been on Thursday night, and I said that Pep has transformed the league. And they said, no, it was Wenger. Wenger did it. When Wenger did it, it was last century. Wenger came in 1996. That's when he transformed it. Pep has transformed it now, and he's done it quickly. Briefly, you can look at the trophies they won. Wenger won 3 Premier League titles in, was it 22 years? That's not a good return, really. When for a lot of that time, initially it was Man United and Arsenal, and then Chelsea came. Okay, up to about 2010, really, honestly, there was practically just 3 clubs in there: United, Arsenal, and then Chelsea. Up to 2004, there were 2 clubs for a long time. Most of it was United, but United, Arsenal, and Chelsea until City came along. And obviously, we've dominated for the last decade. Pep's won 2 titles in 3 years. Ikram says hi, Adam, if I haven't said hi already. Ikram says the Invincibles failed to win almost a third of their games. It's not about how less often you lose, it's about how often you win. Absolutely. It's about winning, scoring goals. And look, the Invincibles were so good that that's the only trophy they won that season. That says a bit more to me. It's the only trophy they won that season. They drew 12 games out of 38. They drew 12 games. And yes, I'll agree that it's something that's never been achieved before. Never been achieved. That's what I say, Asa. People are copying Pep. And that's the difference. So, back in the day, some people started to copy Arsene Wenger, with the professionalism that he brought. No question about that. He did change the league. Absolutely, keep bringing it up. But look, when City got the Centurions, we got another trophy as well. We got the Carabao Cup. Okay. And we got to, was it the quarterfinals of the Champions League? Quarterfinals of Champions League, I think. When we got the 98 points last season, this is how good we were. We won all the domestic competitions last season. That's a mark of how good City were. Yeah. Not only did we win the league, we won other competitions as well. So that's why I say Pep has been transformational. Do you watch Arteta and Arsenal passing the ball out from the back? Unai Emery was doing that. Lots of clubs pass the ball out from the back, make mistakes, but they still pass the ball out from the back, a la Pep. Okay, let's have a quick chat about other things, guys. Edison, let's have a quick look. I've said it that Edison hasn't been as good this season, as I think he should have been. Now he came in that Centurion season after Bravo just wasn't good enough after Joe Hart left, and Edison he helped to transform that team. A team struggling to get in the Champions League became a team strolling the league and banging in 100 points. Now he's 26 years old. He's still got 5 years on his contract. He signed a 7-year contract. Okay, when that season when we won when we got the Centurions, he signed a 7-year contract before the season was finished. So he's still got 5 years left. My feelings that I don't think he's been as good because he's not got any pressure whatsoever. But he's even now looking at extending his contract. So he's very happy. Okay, he's very happy at the club. He was talking to ESPN Brazil, and they're asking him if he planned to stay at City for the long term. He said, I intend to, because it's a league that I am passionate about. It is a league with many emotions. For those who follow from outside, it's already an incredible thing. For me, who used to follow and now I live it, it's surreal for me. I have a 5-year contract. I hope to fulfill the contract and, if possible, stay for longer. Now, there's that's from the MEM. The other points that I remember reading today were the fact that he said, he likes living in Manchester. He's enjoying it at City and in Manchester. I think he's got a couple of kids growing up in Manchester. His daughter's already in school. His son's about ready to go to school. So he, loves it here. And where can he go that's better? Where can he go? I mean, that contract that he's got 5 years left, that'll take him to 31. I can see potentially another 1 or 2 years on top of that, and that's it. Let's have a look who's saying stuff. Absolutely. Last season should have been 100 points as well because Bowley's goal. There's all these little things you can say. We should have done this, we should have done that. But hey, 98 points is still blooming good. Fergus said it was impossible to win all domestic trophies. Well, that's because he didn't do it. Defense has been bodged in front of him a little bit, but he's still got to make his saves and he's got to make better decisions. That goal against United where he let it in, basically, that's his fault. But we haven't done bad. We haven't done. Hi, Danny to me. Hope you're right, buddy. Oh, you're very well. Edison made a brilliant pass leading up to the penalty against Arsenal. Absolutely. Hi, Jason. Hope you're well, mate. I mean, actually, he did it twice because he did a really long ball straight to Riyad Mahrez, who didn't control it. That was unbelievable. That Riyad Mahrez didn't control that ball. I was shocked. When really, I think if he'd controlled it, he had a very good chance to score 1-1 with the keeper. And then another long ball headed. I call it a long ball, but it was a long pass. It wasn't just hoofed up the pitch. It's a long pass headed onto Edison, and long pass by Edison headed onto Riyad Mahrez, and he out-muscled David Luiz, who fouled him for the penalty. Aaron says, we know Edison isn't the best shot stopper, but he has the greatest impact in football in terms of playing it out. Absolutely. There's no question about that. Hi, buddy. Hope you're well. Interesting about how Pep said we're strong in attack and we have other priorities. Do you think we'll replace Sane? It's really, really difficult, RSV. I read something in the Manchester Evening News talking about Coutinho. No. I don't want Coutinho, partly because he came from Liverpool and partly he's on the decline. If Bayern Munich or wherever he is now or Barcelona don't want him, why should we want him? We want to get better. We don't want to take people's dregs. Also, one more. Lilo was at the Arsenal game. He was sat 2 seats to Pep's left due to the social distancing. That's it. I wasn't paying that much. One of the things is most of the times you see the bench or the coaching staff, you see Pep, you don't see anybody else. I wasn't paying particular attention to see where he was. Ikram, I've seen reports linking us with Bailey, but I'm not too keen. Leon Bailey's got a bit of pace. I don't know if he's developed, from an exciting young player into a decent, a more decent prospect. The player I want to replace is Traore from Wolves. Well, Traore's got the pace, Adama Traore. Someone's sending me lots of messages. I wonder who that is. Could be anybody. I've got to quickly check. Oh, it's for my interview tomorrow. I hope it's not been cancelled. Oh, yep. Well, he says change of plans. Okay, I've got to reply to him. Let's have a think. So, I'm sorry, guys, I've got to write to this guy. Adama Traore, if I remember correctly, came from Barcelona. He's obviously an exciting talent, blistering pace. He's getting better, and I think, and I'd like to think that as you get, you train, as you develop, as you get older, get more experience, and you mature, then you actually learn to do more of what you do better. He's 24 years old, 24 and a half. Okay, now he's still got a lot of his career ahead of him. So I didn't watch the game today, but I heard he can change. He can change a game. He's got that blistering pace, and he, like Sane, will frighten any defense, and they'll always keep on their toes. So if you've got an attacking fullback on the other side, they'll be wary of Adama Traore. I don't think we will get Sancho back on the cheap, Aaron. To be honest, Sancho is going to go, I suspect, for 80 to 100 million quid. And, if we want him, we'd have to match. I suspect match. There's rumours that we get a discount, but why would they give us a discount on Sancho? Would Sancho really want to come? Danny says Pep's interview the other night on BLM was so honest. Yeah, look, I mean, I didn't get too involved, but there's a few City fans on Twitter today, on social media, criticising BLM or the fact that they had the Black Lives Matter on the back of the shirts. Some, let's call them ignorant people, say, oh, it's a political statement, and it might be. And then they said, what about the poppy? We're not allowed to have the poppy. Well, actually, poppy's been on for years, hasn't it? Poppy's on shirts. I think the nearest Sunday to Remembrance Sunday. So that's not an issue. It's an issue with FIFA. That's different. Poppy's on a Premier League shirts, and that's, once again, Black Lives Matter was on the Premier League shirts. I had excuses and people laughing out loud, laughing out loud. An excuse was, I don't know the names of the opposition players. Sorry, that's a lame. I'm not going to say racism, but it's a lame excuse. It's a lame excuse. And look, it's one of those things that, you might not agree with everything. And I think that's an issue for some people with all the principles of the group that call themselves Black Lives Matter. It's a movement as well. And it's like a feeling. And you might not agree with everything, but you should, I think, generally, most reasonably will agree with the sentiment at least. And look, it's not just across the league. It's your own club who have done this. So it's not they're going out on a limb. They're not going out on a limb. It's not like Liverpool when they supported Suarez. They went out on a limb for Suarez, and they were wrong. This time you've got the players want it. Yeah, the players want it. The clubs want it. And whether the league wants it or not, they've had to do it. So I just think it's I think it's wrong, personally, to come out and criticise the club, because you are criticising, in effect, the club, the players, the league, and everything else. And yes, it's not a simplistic argument. I've had somebody come out and said, if you're against the BLM movement, you're racist. I wouldn't go and put it as in blunt terms like that, but you've got to, you've got to look at. It always interests me. It always interests me. And I'm not going to try and politicize it, but it's a certain kind of person. Generally, I've found a certain kind of person who's hypercritical. And I threw out a tweet, and now I will make it. That's not political. It's an honest tweet. I said, I'm finding a lot of people who are criticizing the Black Lives Matter movement or the fact that we had it on the shirts. They don't criticize somebody, and they support somebody who's racist, sexist, xenophobic, homophobic, Islamophobic, a liar, a deadbeat dad, absentee dad, some of his kids, and who's presided over a huge death toll due to his incompetence and arrogance and everything else. So you all these negatives, you want to support somebody, and you can't bring yourself to support the principle of Black Lives Matters. That's not my problem. Aaron says Adam isn't technically enough ready. Yeah, I'm not sure about his controls, but the pace might be the one that the blistering pace might be the one that does it. But Wolves won't let him go for less than 60 million, I reckon. What mind if Jesus was tested? Well, that's what I said. I said that well before Christmas, that Raheem Sterling should be dropped and Gabby J should be out on the left. It's a strong runner. We made him look. Yeah, I agree with that, Aaron. But but the thing is, people are genuinely scared of his pace, and that makes I'll give you an example I like giving about me. When I played hockey for my school, I never played hockey till I was in the sixth form. I couldn't play hockey. I could hardly. I couldn't control the ball. I mean, there was already a team, and I just went out to a practice for a couple of times, and I got picked for a game. What I was good at, and what I had, was stamina and effort and motivation. I would run up and down the pitch. I was rubbish at hockey. I was running down the field. I would be able to get back and and give them, slow them down, or intercept them, or give them some grief and make them lose control, because it's hard to control that hockey ball with that stick. And that's all I was. So people were wary of me because of that. And it's the same with Traore. His pace will make people wary. And okay, his skill and technical ability might not be there, but it's one of those. Pep could see something in him, and you think, yes, I can work on that. Ikram says he reckons he would struggle against a team sitting deep the whole game. It's a possibility, but look, Sane works, with teams that play deep, and it's on the. You can do it on the break. I don't know what that thing was about Papa Echo Delta. I'm probably a few minutes behind. What do you make of Roy Keane's comments on De Gea? Well, De Gea's letting him down. I think De Gea's made 4 or 5 glaring errors this season, cost his team points. He's done it again. So, he's certainly not in the top 5 Premier League goalies this season. Apparently, Braff has attitude issues and has had a lot of warnings in the academy. You can't just throw a 17-year-old. And he's inconsistent, maybe playing in the cup games next season. Well, I think it's Braff's last season next season. So there's a risk that he'd do a Sancho. He might want out this summer or go on a free next summer. For me, I would have liked to see Braff play a few games this season to show him, hey, you're almost ready. Okay, sign that new contract. You'll play more next season. There might be they might not be totally truthful. And I think we're almost in that position. We're 7 points clear of 6 points clear of Leicester with a game in hand. That's right. So if we can beat Burnley on Monday, we'll be 9 points clear of Leicester with 8 games to play. So we could theoretically almost sew up second spot after 5 more games this season. So we would have 4 league games left. And I would like to see people like, I've said it before, Jayden Braff, Tommy Doyle, Adrian Banabi, Taylor Howard-Bellis, Eric Garcia. I'd like to see those 5 players especially get a run out. I'd like to see Scott Carson come on for a game. I remember telling somebody earlier at the start of the season, Scott Carson would get on the pitch at some point. I'd like that. I'd like to see that. Braff, I want him to be brought in if it's possible. Cole Palmer as well. I want him to be brought in to be given a chance. Just in a couple of games so that they know I'm on the edge. And I want you have to encourage Pep. All he has to say is, look, Jayden, we're going to play you 3 games this season. A couple at sub. 1 you're going to start, 1 or 2 you'll start. It's up to you, kid. It's up to you. We're looking at next season you being part of this first team squad. We might not be replacing Leroy Sané. You'll be fighting for a wing spot. We'll be playing probably 55 games next season. You will get your chance. You've got to take it. And that might be the difference. That might be what Braff needs to make him sign his new contract. Yes, I know where you're coming from, but you look at Traore this season against City. He won that game. Pulls home and away. He's only 24. Yeah, I understand that. Trez the right wing, we need the left winger here. We have Bernardo and Mahrez. Well, the thing is, Rashford, I want the opportunity to, if we don't replace Sane, Sterling can't play left wing all the time. He's got no pressure. You want to be able to say, right, we'll throw out Mahrez out on the left wing and Traore on the right wing, or Bernardo on the right wing. You've got to give some pressure to Sterling. There you go. And so that can work. You don't have to play Mahrez all the time on the right, and sometimes you want Bernardo in them. I think we want Bernardo more in the middle. Hi, video. Hope you're well. We have an easy run. Yeah, and we got Liverpool as well. We got Liverpool and Chelsea. That's not that easy. Rest some players for FA Cup and Champions League. That's my point, Aaron. That's why I say if we can beat Burnley, we'll be 9 points clear, and if we can beat Chelsea, okay, we're almost in touching distance of having second spot. Then we could put all our eggs into the Newcastle FA Cup basket next Sunday, I think, and then look at it game by game. And then we can afford to, I think, if we win our next 2 games, I think we're in a position to then almost be ready. Depending on what Leicester do. It really does. If we beat Burnley, we beat Chelsea, and Leicester lose, we'll be 12 points clear of Leicester with 8 games to go. And I think almost, with 7 games to go, isn't it? 7 games to go. We'll be almost done. We'll be 12 points clear with 7 games to go. We need to win 3 more games and we've got second. So, we might be in a position then after the Newcastle game to mix and match things and rest people. Would be class. Oh, Aaron, I would be over the moon. Ikram, did Richard Wright ever make I don't think so. Adrian Benabe, I don't know. Video, I guess he's ready to play with the EDS boy. And it might be they just saw the EDS at the time before they were prevented. Just go back to your home countries. I don't know whether they did that or they said stay here. Sadly, I don't know that. Hi, Kareem, how you doing, buddy? Right, did I make any competitive appearance? I thought so, video. Aaron says Champions League was a great opportunity for us knockouts, and it's a separate. No, absolutely, mate. Surely that's up there with one of the most pointless signings of all time. Who's that? Richard Wright. He's £1 million. We were paying him £1 million a season. He's a third choice keeper, but he was coaching as well, I think, at the end. And he's third choice keeper. He's happy to be third choice keeper. Sonny, hey. Sonny, man. I watched a little bit of your game today. Weren't very good, mate. And obviously it looks like Bernd Leno's out for the season as well. And you guys are going through a terrible run with luck. The only good luck you've had so far is David Luiz has been sent off, but you've lost Pablo Mari and you've lost Bernd Leno. Yeah, you're right, buddy. Sonny, it's pretty much over. I think all he can hope for now is somehow try and fight to get a Europa League spot. It's a shame, but it's sad. That's where Arsenal's level is now, fighting for the Europa League spot. But you've seen it coming, and I think you touched on it as well. When Arsenal were fighting for the league, and then it was fighting for top four, and then they dropped out. Now they're fighting for the Europa League, and it could be this season they don't get anything. And if they don't get in the Europa League, Arsenal's finances are going to be absolutely smashed, especially if there's no fans in the ground next season. Arsenal could be, losing about £130 million from their income next season. It doesn't bear thinking about. Arash says, I think Zinchenko, Ottomani, Aguero, Foden, and Bernardo will start versus Burnley. That's a good shout. It could happen. I think there will be some changes. I think Foden. I'm not sure Foden should start. I'd rather have Bernardo and KDB starting, but that's me. And it could easily be, Bernardo, KDB, or do we save KDB for Chelsea? We should remain the same as Liverpool did by playing first team players in Premier League, second on FA Cup. No, we want to put the best team out for the FA Cup. Yeah, Sonny, your season's over, but I think you've still got to try and push. They've still got to try and push somehow. Get this disjointed team to fight for the Europa League. That's all you've got left. Yeah, you might not get 50 points, but you still got to. You got to have that aim. I know. Realistically, it looks like it's done, but you've just got to say you've got to keep going. You can't just give up. Yeah, there's a lot to do at Arsenal, restructuring the board and everything else. Right, guys, the other thing that I was going to talk about was the kids. And there's a piece in the MEN today. So let's have a look at these kids and let's see if I can remember that fifth kid whose name I forgot. Wow, just look at the new rules for hairdressers. I mean, I want to go get a nice tidy up, but you can't talk to the hairdresser. Well, to be honest, my hairdressers, I don't talk to them anyway. Just tell them what I want, and that's it. That's my business done. So let's talk about some of the kids. Let's start off with Jack Harrison. Now, last season, I think if Leeds had got promoted, they could have bought Jack Harrison. I think they were quoted £50 million by City. They couldn't afford him because they didn't get the promotion. Now, what I think Jack Harrison is saying, he sees no reason why he wouldn't want to stay at Leeds next season. Is he good enough for City? People have been asking me. Honestly, I don't know. I don't watch much Championship football. But, if Leeds get promoted, City are asking for 15 million. Maybe Leeds can do a deal about 10 or 12 million. But he's told Leeds Live, he said, it's been great for my development as a player. It's hard for me to say why I wouldn't want to come back here. There's no reason why I should say no. I don't want to stay here next season. Hopefully, if it's in the Premier League, then even better. Fingers crossed that happens. Aaron Muric. Aaron Muric won't be playing again at Nottingham Forest because the Nottingham Forest manager Sabri Lamucci. He's confirmed his loan move has not been extended to finish the season. I mean, Muric has had 2 terrible seasons. Last season he was at NEC Breda. He played 1 game, a 3-0 win, and then Bravo got injured, and season before, sorry, and he came back and he deputised for him, and he's number 2 to Edison, but that meant he hardly played any games, cup games, and that's it. Then he went to Nottingham Forest on loan. He had a bad start, and that was it. He got dropped, and he's not featured since September in any competition. They've got this fellow called Bryce Samba in goal, and but that's like he said. This fella, what's his name? The manager, Lamucci. He said all of the loan players will stay with us except Aaron Muric. The club, City, and the player asked us to stop and to think about the next step. They have the right to do that. We wanted to keep him, but we couldn't decide that because of the situation. He wanted to focus on the next step, probably at another club. To be honest, there's no point Muric staying just to sit on the bench. Absolutely no point whatsoever. Next, we're going to Lucas Nemecha. He's on loan at Middlesbrough. He's looking to finish, as MEN call it, a difficult campaign. He's trying to finish it strongly because he's not even managed to get be a first choice at the Riverside. He said there'll be people who had been wanting to play more games, myself included, who will get an opportunity. He said there are so many games in such a short period that everyone's have to play. Has been stressing that since we've been back. There's been ups and downs at times. It's been hard to get into the team. It's been in and out of it. It's disappointing I haven't been able to start more, but that's just how it is, especially when you come in January. Normally the manager knows his team by then, but hopefully I'll get a chance to have a positive impact in the next 9 matches. At Middlesbrough as well is Patrick Roberts, who's a huge disappointment. He came in a rumoured £12 million deal from Fulham as a kid. He went out on loan in January to Celtic for 18 months. Okay. And he did really well at Celtic, really, really well. Then he came back and Pep was the new manager. And instead of knuckling down and trying to fight for his position with Pep, he took the easy route and went back to Scotland where, Celtic won the league, but he didn't really do too much for me. So he took the chickens way out. And by taking the chickens, in my opinion anyway, I'm happy to say the chickens way out by going back to easy league in Scotland, he missed the boat at City. And then basically he's been out on loan since. So he's now at Middlesbrough. He's had a hamstring injury, but he joined them in January. He had got a hamstring injury just after that. And manager Jonathan Woodgate has admitted that Roberts won't be able to play every game, but he'll still be called upon, which is good for him. He said Patrick Roberts has been out for 6 months, so we can't expect him to play Saturday, Tuesday for the rest of the season. It's going to be difficult, but we've got a big enough squad now that we can hopefully cope. So they're fighting against relegation. Another prospect, Tosin Adebayo, is hoping to reach the playoffs and potentially earn promotion to the top flight. He's with Blackburn. As of before the games today, I think they were in 7th spot. They were 3 points off the top 6. I think they were in 7th or 8th, something like that. Adebayo is looking to emulate his loan spell at West Brom last season when the Baggies reached the semi-finals of the playoffs. He said, last season with West Brom was heartbreaking for me, the way we lost in the playoffs. So I've got a new opportunity this season. I want to take it. The feeling at the end of last season was horrible. So I'm really pushing for better this time around. I want to get us into the playoff spots to Wembley and then into the Premier League for next season. With 9 games to go, it's a mini season. We're not sure what to expect, but we'll be pushing for it. Both Adebayo and Lucas Nemecha have got a year left on the contracts. Roberts and Harrison have deals which they've got 2 years left, but all know they've got to do something. They've got to do something. Aaron Muric is on a long contract. He's here till 2024, another 4 seasons. He's got the potential. He's a huge guy. I still think he's a good player, but he needs to get experience and confidence very, very quickly. Really, really does. Otherwise, he's off ski as well. We've got Zach Steffen coming, I think, this season, and that's going to cause another problem for Muric. But we'll see what happens. All right, a lot of points here. I missed a lot out. only wants us to win the Champions League, mate. You know, I was talking to some Arsenal fans recently, and they want us to still win the league. They want Liverpool to collapse, us to win everything, and win the league. They really don't want Liverpool to win the league. And you think, well, what's the beef with Liverpool? So many fans of other clubs don't like Liverpool. Ben Knight, yeah, that's another one. I forgot about Ben Knight. He must be 18 or 19 now. You know, he came from Ipswich, I think. You know, that a very good prospect, Ben Knight. If we fail to sign a person, then we can give. It's another possibility, Vidya. You know, it could be if Leeds don't get promotion. I mean, I think they will, but I think Leeds will get promotion if they don't want Harrison. If we ask for 50 million, you know, and they say we're not going to pay that much and we can't make an agreement, maybe he comes back and we have a look at him. Hi, Darren Tinworth. Hope you're well, buddy. Is Bravo leaving? Well, Vidya, he's out of contract, and I expect him to go. I expect us to bring Zach Steffen back, and maybe Aaron Muric coming number 3, which is not great for him. I think Aaron Muric will go out on loan somewhere else. And I'd like us to have a young English keeper as number 3, or retain Scott Carson. Just keep it homegrown. Why Cancelo and Stones are not in the 20-man squad against Arsenal? Cancelo, I don't know. Stones was injured. Stones and Bravo had little knocks, injuries, but Pep said everybody's fit. Cancelo, it's only 20-man squad. We can only have 20 in the squad, and he didn't make the cut. Kareem says young people should be given the opportunity. The Proverbs, yeah. I think this, you know, that's what I said. Want us to get that second spot confirmed, and then start playing, mixing it around. If you've got 5 games to go and you only need 3 points, then I'll start playing the kids because we'll win 1 out of 5. That kind of thing. Papa Ekadelta, Pat Roberts was a brilliant player. My side, great. Oh, I absolutely loved him. Absolutely loved him. But for me, he didn't have it here, and he didn't have it here to fight at City. Darren Tinworth, in my opinion, who will play Sane? Sancho, Braff, or Bailey? I don't think we'll get Sancho back. I think he's burned his bridges. I really do. Pep does not want to go for somebody who's already dissed him, in that kind of thing. Braff, there's a worry that Braff might go the same way. Sancho might be out, and Bailey, I'm not so sure. To be honest, I'm not so sure how we're going to do this. Whether we will promote from within. Is that a possibility? We could get Braff, we could get Cole Palmer. So I think Cole Palmer play him up front, but he can play out wide. Why can't we play Cole Palmer? We might. I think he's been impressive. Apparently in the under 18s, I think he's been involved in just over 20 goals and assists in the season in fewer than 20 games. So he's got more goals and assists per game than he's played games this season. So he looks promising. We've got a lot of up-and-coming youngsters. It's just to know where they're going to end up. Absolutely, Akram. Yeah, Scarford Celtic. We could have a future City. Felix, well, I think that's a truth video. That's dead right. I mean, it was over a year ago that I think I remember hearing that Felix is the one that they thought had the potential, and Lucas, he was just going to get loaned out and sold. Luis Farini, he's a good one. There's a Roe McDonald. There's lots of good, interesting kids that are coming through. Tommy Doyle, Pat Roberts won a rake up. Loads of medals, but the thing is, I don't see the reason for him to go back for that second 12 months. He's going to win some more trophies. I probably got the treble again in Scotland, but that put pay to his career at City. I don't think that was worth it. Vidya wants Diaz back. I used to love Diaz. When I first saw Diaz, I said, this kid, he's going to go a long, long way. And sadly, he's not had that. He's not had enough opportunity. Could I run a game due to Sane? Absolutely. Billy is perfect replacement for Sane, says Vidya. Who's that, Papa? Paddy Roberts. Yeah. He went to Girona. He got nothing out of them. Where is Claudio Gomez? That's a good question. My mate Claudio Gomez. My lad's got Claudio Gomez on the back of his shirt because we met him what was it called then? Oh, I forgot the name. Checkatrade Trophy game against Shrewsbury. Had a chat with him after the game. Nice kid. He's only 18. He was only 7 years older than my son. Well, it's crazy to think Claudio Gomez is only 7. He was only 7 years older than my lad. Silverware in Spain. I didn't know that Paprika Delta. Yeah, I'm forgotten about Muric. Muric, I think Muric is a very good keeper. He just needs experience, and he's not getting it for the last 2 seasons. Gazunu, I'm not sure about that video. I think Gazunu will probably be the EDS keeper. Let them win it all. They're going to win this season. I hope so, mate. Let's have a look what we can win. Thomas Munier, I don't know. No one's ever free. Robertson Tierney, best pals. It's not. Yeah. But I don't know how it helps us. New videos. Please say my name. I've said it, and I've got to make sure these are all clean names. We let Sancho Diaz Matondo. We didn't let him go, Vidya. Please get it right. We did not let them go. Sancho wanted to leave. We had no choice. Diaz, he wanted to go to Real Madrid. Can you blame him? Matondo, he wanted to leave. He knew he was never going to get it in at City. He wasn't good enough. Rabbi Matondo, good prospect that he was, he wasn't going to get ahead of Leroy Sané, Raheem Sterling, Riyad Mahrez, Bernardo Silva. So he knew he had to move on. Pablo Maffio, no, we didn't let him go. We sold him to make some money. Gunn, we sold him for between 12 and 15 million quid to Southampton because he's not getting ahead of Edison, and he needed to move up. He needed to move up a level, and the best thing for his career was to sell him. There's no point bringing him back to City, having him as Edison, I don't think. Darren is asking Diaz, Skriniar, Upamecano, or Koulibaly. Which one you having? Wow. Video's going for Skriniar. To be honest, I don't know enough about any of them. Okay. Part of me wants to get Koulibaly because he's done it at a high level for a long time. Yeah. And he's got experience, and you'd like to think he could come into the Premier League and slot in. If he's good, if he's that good and he's experienced, you think he can come and slot in for 3 or 4 seasons and, partner Laporte. The other 3 are younger, and it might take them a year to settle. Do we want that? Can we afford to take the risk of having a weak back line, next season? If Laporte's injured, here's my worry. If Laporte is injured and we've got, let's say we got any of Diaz, Skriniar, and Upamecano, and we partner them up with Garcia or with Stones, let's say Otamendi leaves. Okay, either Stones or Otamendi. Would you be comfortable with Diaz, Skriniar, or Upamecano partnering either Stones or Otamendi? I wouldn't. What left back do you want? One of the Bayern Munich left backs. I like David Alaba. Koulibaly could do with him short term, and he's established. That's what I reckon. Ikram, he's 28 years old, so he could come easily for 3 seasons, maybe 4 or even 5. Company was 32 when he left, so Koulibaly could come and he could partner Emerick Laporte for 4 or 5 years, and in that time Garcia is coming through. In that time, Taylor Howard-Bellis is coming through, and by the time Koulibaly leaves, Garcia and Taylor Howard-Bellis could be well established. And then you got those 2 and Laporte going forwards. I think you'd be very happy. By that stage in 3 years' time, Garcia will be 23, Taylor Howard-Bellis will 21. You could have them 2 guys as a partnership for 10 years. Not much risk when it's better than what we have. Absolutely. Stones and Otamendi have both got to go. I'm not sure both of them will go out. My concern is, Aaron, if you let them both go, you've got no experience. And for all how good Garcia and Taylor Howard-Bellis are, they're still inexperienced at the top level. Go. Let's say Laporte gets injured again, and you've got a new one. And let's say you've brought in Upamecano, and you're partnering Upamecano and Garcia. I don't think there's enough experience. Certainly not enough experience there. So I think one of Stones and Otamendi will probably stay. Well, let's get it, Alan. Let's start knocking on the door. Are we first in line for who's know what? I think that's Juventus, Darren. That's what I've heard. Speaking to Algerian journalists as well, he said he felt that that link was strong. But if Pep comes in, speaks to the player, there's obviously people want to play for Pep, and that can swing the deal. Obviously, another concern is if we get that Champions League ban for 2 seasons, then I can see Houssem going to Juventus, because he's still young. But can you imagine in Lyon? They're not even in the Europa League. I think they're going to fire that in the courts, but they're not in Europe at all. So I can see Houssem going to Juventus if City are banned. Alaba can play centre back too, as Davis has made left back spot his own. Yeah, I mean, was it Alphonso Davis? He looks all right as well. He looks all right. I don't think we're going to get him. Otamendi's passed it, and Stones is just consistently. I don't think he's unreliable, Aaron. I just think Stones needs confidence. He needs a run of games, and he's not getting it. Whatever the reason is, he's got problems in his private life with his confidence, not getting a run of games, and injuries. I don't know, but I don't want to write him off just yet. But the writing could be on the wall. He needs to be playing and playing at a good level to keep the confidence from coming from Pep. Will we get the ban overturned, says Darren? Honestly, no idea, Darren. No idea, because we don't know. We don't know the truth about what it's all about. And that's the issue. We don't know the evidence that UEFA put forward, the evidence that City retorted with. We don't know. So, it's really, really difficult to say if UEFA are just chancing their arm or City are chancing their arm. It could easily be City. It's all huff and puff and bluster. I don't know. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm tempted to do, because Stones is only 26. I'd rather Otamendi go. He's 31, and give Stones one more season, because if Stones can do it, look, this is the thing. If, let's say, we get Koulibaly, okay, and we keep Stones, and Stones recovers his form, we've got 3 centre backs then to take us through to the next 4 years. And then we've got Garcia coming through, so he's our number 4, and Taylor Howard-Bellis is number 5 when Koulibaly leaves. We could have, say, in 4 years' time, Stones and Laporte at 30 years old, and Garcia and Taylor Howard-Bellis as the next 2. Could be fantastic. Pat Keys, the name doesn't ring a bell, Luke, I'm afraid. Nice to have you on the channel, but Pat Keys doesn't ring a bell. I don't think there's too many chances. Top teams need to recognise consistent. That's it, Aaron. But the worry is, look what happened to us last season. Otamendi, whatever you say, he'd been there for and Stones for the Centurions and the domestic treble. Okay, they don't become rubbish overnight. Aaron, Ikram says he's been unlucky with injuries. It's been hard for him to get in a run of games. Look, the 2 times that he had a good run of games in that Centurion season and the following season, okay, up to Christmas, he was really good, and we were doing pretty the first time of that Centurion season. And then he said, then it was Stones and company going to get in the side. It was Stones and Laporte, and I think company said something like, it was going to be those 2 with the future. So, company rated him, company expected it. So why write him off? Pep expects it, Pep rates him. Why write Stones off? So I think you got to. I would give him another season. Kagla Hassan, choose a bad option. Could be a video, but he'll not come cheap. I've seen him make mistakes, but it's one of those. One of the things you got to remember is no team really plays like City, and people we've seen defend and being top defenders. Yeah, we've seen these people as top defenders for other teams, but they spend all their time defending. They spend all their time at the back. Okay, City are a different kettle of fish. City are a different kettle of fish. I've timed out Luke Morgan. Trying to see what I've done with Luke Morgan. Give me a sec, guys. Yeah, I know I have times that week, Morgan. Give me a sec. Just got to do something, guys. I don't care if I make a mistake, but I think I have to do something there. Marco Asensio, I'm not so sure. Video, is that kid at Real Madrid? I don't think they let him go. But would you leave? It's always going to be the question. Right, guys, I think that's me done. I'm going to go do some online shopping, looking for some bits and pieces, electronics wise, and then roll on tomorrow. I'm not sure I'm going to watch any games. I've got two interviews to do tomorrow. I've got that stream in the evening, and I got this fella from Algeria and a lot of other stuff on tomorrow. So I'm going to knock it on the head. It's almost 10 o'clock. Guys, you've been wonderful. Thank you very much for joining me. If you're new to the channel, it would be fantastic. Please just subscribe to the channel. We picked up a lot of subscribers in the last month. It's really, really good. If you can subscribe, be awesome. Hit that bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out. Will I watch the Merseyside derby? I'm not sure, Ikram. To be honest, I picked the fellow that was sending me messages. I picked 3 o'clock interview with him, and now he had to delay it till the evening. But I picked a 3 o'clock interview with him simply because that's a good time for me, and I didn't care about the football. So whether I watch it or not, I might just spend the time with my kids. I'm not, what I'm tempted to do, because I haven't got Sky, I have to get the Night TV pack for that because I've got the BT. One of the things about Sky, because I was going to most of the games, I didn't need a TV package. I've got the BT for the Champions League games because I can't go to the Champions League away games, and some of the home games I miss because they're in midweek in school time, and I can't go with. And when I was, and if I'm looking after 2 kids, I can't take the kids to the game and come back at 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. So I had the BT Sports for that. So the BT games, I'm more likely just to flick it on and watch it. The Sky ones, I'm more likely not to bother unless City are playing. That's just the way it is. Yeah, Ikram, that's it. Right, guys. Thank you. I'm going to love you and leave you. Take it easy, guys. I'll catch you tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Remember, we should have Burnley fan on. We're going to talk Burnley because that's the game on Monday. Take it easy, guys. Have a good night.